Okay, can you hear me, guys? Perfect. I'm gonna screen share with you guys so that you guys get the slides. Just give me one quick second. All right, and can we see? Perfect. Okay, love it. Oh, I love the little. So exciting. Okay, well, Nicole, I am so excited to see your beautiful face. Angel, I know what your face looks like. It's beautiful too. I am excited to have you here. We've got Bryce and stuff, so like we're gonna go. Okay, for the record, I've been really playing around with it more. Like you guys really need to try Canva's. What? I got Mr. Kellum? Stop it. Okay, so if you guys have not played around with Canva, it's amazing. I have been AI creating like all of my images. You do have to be very careful though, because sometimes they look like zombies or they have multiple hands, but super fun. I would encourage you guys to try it out. Um, and we'll go through some of that in the social stuff. Okay, so today we're going to talk about lead follow-up. Okay. Um, Tonight I'm going to send you guys like some scripts and some texts and stuff around these lead sources. By the way, Chat GPT girls online, if you guys have not tried that, it is fully and 100% worth it. It is amazing. It will save you all the time in the world. And I come from actually content like creative writing. I never thought I'd be so excited to not have to do that. Okay, so today we're going to actually talk a little bit about the MREA. It's a little bit more specific to the lead generation model with some of my tweaks. And then we are going to talk about what in those categories, what type of communication. So I have general information. And the reason why is because we're going to participate and fill in some of the specifics to the lead source. Why? Because the first class that we did was who our seller leads were, okay, and their motivation, okay. So we want to make sure the communication is relevant to that. So to just go through, our expireds are absolutely angry, okay. They're frustrated, but they have an immediate need. Okay, so we have to be compassionate. We have to be super duper amazing problem solvers. And by the way, as a recruiter now, I have found out that calling top producers is like calling cancels, FSBOs, and expireds. So I feel like I'm back into lead genning them all over again. Anyways, FSBOs are know-it-all sellers, right? So they feel they know it all. They feel that they can shift and pivot through whatever, and they got it covered. And most of the time they don't want to pay us, but we also know they have an immediate need. Okay. There's a lot of places we can come from value with that. My favorite lead source, because again, one list gives us the ability to do every type of lead gen. That would be our circle prospecting list. Okay. So we're farming a neighborhood, whether it be a like a demographic neighborhood or, like we're actually getting into like demographics, or we're jumping into like more of a geological aerial farming. Okay, they don't know what they want. Okay, you really have to be the neighborhood expert, and it has to be about knowing them, their community, why they live there, their challenges, and the benefits and resources around them. Okay, database. Most of the time, database is filled with everybody. Okay, so, but we do tend to have a lot of online leads now. And I like to say with that and paid ads and social leads in general, unless someone is literally going, sell me a house, buy me a house, unless those two things are happening, chances are they're more likely to be an inquiry versus a lead. Okay. So when we look at that, we have to make sure that our nurture game is on point, or we're asking very specific information to what it is that they're looking at and digging into them. Okay. Which is where our scripting is going to go. Apparently, our scripting on the 23rd, I believe it is. We might have to push it back 1 week, but we're going to actually have like top scripters And I'm just going to be honest, we're going to tape objections underneath their seats. Okay. And whoever's sitting on it, like, gets to, like, here's the objection. So, like, they will have no idea what's going on. Just like it feels like when we're on the phone or we're in an appointment or something like that, right? We're not prepared. So we're going to put them in the hot seat. So that one should be, like, really fun. I like to do it like a round, like a wrestling thing. And I really did think next time I need to call them in, like, and we have, be obnoxious. Okay. So, and then we have sphere of influence, past clients and current clients. That is their own different kind of seller lead source or allied resources. Okay. So they trust us. We forget to ask for the referral. We forget to ask for the business. We forget to stay relevant. Okay. So then we miss opportunities. So there's the sum up, not the full class, first class, but it's a sum up. Okay, so we're going to jump in. Let me move this bad boy. Okay. With all the classes that you guys get to do here, participation is a key thing. Whether I get to see your face or not, unmute, pipe in. If I'm missing something, pipe in. If you just had like an aha or a brain, like, oh, pipe in. I love it. Participation. Note taking, take pictures. This is meant to be shared. Also, this is the second quarter we've ran this. And what have we found? I am rewriting slides and classes. Why? Because things have moved. Things have shifted, right? So things that applied to last quarter, they've moved, and it's allowed us to shift and pivot with it and provide tweaked and what feels like almost new training this quarter too with it. Okay, so take all your notes. Oh, I went too fast. Breaks. Well, you girls get up, do what you need to do, the rest of you. I'm not a heathen. I'm not gonna, like, hold you hostage. And commitment. I appreciate every time that you guys come into the office. I also appreciate all y'all that you can't and come onto the Zoom. Okay. It means a lot. I just want to, like, pour into y'all as much as possible. So I do appreciate that. So commitment will bring results. It's just a fact. Okay. We can move. All right. So agenda, it's a little looser today, so I'm just going to bypass that. All right. So if you've read the MRA, okay, it is models in order to kind of build your real estate business, right? From economics to, the financial and the lead generating model, right? And they're all proven methods. Okay, so I'm going to say that I love the book. I appreciate it. I love having models to base off of. I also love the idea that we can make things efficient. And because things have changed so much, when we're told to go back to the basics, like go back to the MRAA, it looks a little bit different, right? Our language has changed in the last 4 or 5 years. And if we didn't think that we weren't still coming off of the high from COVID and then the low from COVID, well, we decided to throw a couple lawsuits in there and let's just go ahead and change the whole real estate industry, and my husband was telling me about that. He's like, well, that happened in 2008. I said, well, no, see, we caused the crash, like, as the industry professionals, but who took the actual hit to their industry in the realms of, like, having to morph and change? Lenders, inspectors, and appraisers, correct? We just had to wait out the market. This is the first time that something like this has impacted our ability to freely kind of move about, okay? So it's created a lot of chaos. So we're going to kind of, like, wrap all that into what we're doing as well. So we make sure that everything that we're doing coming from a place of value, because more than ever, it feels impossible to show why someone should be paying us so much. But the reality is it's there, okay? And yes, we're going to have to do a little bit more. All right, any questions before we start? Okay. If I get more than 2-3 seconds of quiet, I imagine, and I just squirrel off. So just so you know. So, okay. So prospecting versus marketing. Okay. Who knows what prospecting is versus marketing? Okay. I'm going to give you little definitions because I'm obnoxious. And if that's too small, I will read it to you. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm going to read it to you. Prospect to search for mineral deposits in a place, especially by means of experimental drilling and evacuation, or the responsibility of salespeople to prospect for customers, right? In all cases, still gold. When we find them, there's still nuggets of awesomeness, right? Okay, so what's marketing? The activity or business of promoting and selling products and services, including marketing, research, and advertising, okay? Prospecting is a verb, okay? Marketing is a noun. So if we remember our schooling from grade school, because I think we're going all the way back there, or when we had to work it through with our kiddos, right? A verb is what?
An action word.
It is an action word, correct, Bryce? It is action. It is something that we are going to do. Okay. So it also is a low-hanging fruit. It usually, not that it doesn't reap nurtures and things like that. You're just going to get, your chances are of getting quicker results from that, especially when done consistently, is higher, right? Because marketing, it's a noun, okay? It encompasses a thought process, a group of, right? Marketing is the things that you use a lot of times in prospecting, right? There's some cross-contamination between some of that too, when you talk about follow-ups and stuff like that, and the message of the moment, okay? Because going back to, and I know you guys have heard me and I won't stop, I'm a mom. I love being a mom. Guess what? Everyone needs a mom in their life. Why? Because we nurture, we take care of, we protect, okay? We guide, we work through. So what is a mom? It is the message of the moment, okay? Each lead source that I just briefly talked about in the beginning, each one of their moms are different, okay? And that's okay. Our market switches, right? So then that mom could get morphed with the market mom, right? Message of the moment, right? So like when interest rates are low, okay, and it's spiking home prices up, our message to the moment to buyers is what? You better get it now, okay? Because home prices will continue to increase, okay? Marry the house, you know, not the rate kind of piece.
Yeah.
Okay, that can go in a couple different directions, but anyways, or for the seller, right? What's the message? It's not the same message of the moment because it is absolutely, hey, let's wait this out a little bit more. Home prices are going up. You know what I mean? If we sit for a hot minute, we want the best or the most, or we're waiting for a hot minute, we want the best or the most. Right? I'm just saying, like, there could be a bazillion variables, but you say same thing with like an expired, right? You're solving their problems with a FSBO, you're coming from a place of contribution. Not that solving a problem is not contribution, okay? But it's a little bit different, right? When we talk to our database, and our sphere of influence can be in our database too, but when we talk to our sphere of influence, it's going to be intimate, right? It's going to be more one-on-one. You're going to know things and be connected to things somehow. You know, where our database is just throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what sticks sometimes, or it feels that way, right? Okay, just examples. I like examples. Okay, also, it's a nurture game. Marketing is a nurture game. It is like prospecting, consistency reaps results. Marketing is the same thing. Okay, so are we kind of clear about prospecting, low-hanging fruit, action, marketing, over-encompassing umbrella of stuff, if you want to say, and it's a nurture game, okay? They're both needed, guys. We have to build and nurture as much as we have to take the right fruit off so it doesn't go bad and the rest of the tree remains healthy. And when I say that, database, right? Rotten fruit goes bad. You missed a freaking opportunity because you didn't have things set up or you didn't have the conversation, right? Same thing, many plants, right? When you tend them, they bloom harder and produce more. Same thing with our database. If we nurture it and we feed it and we make sure it's maintained, we will build that thing. Now with that, I do want to recognize that database management is a huge thing. It is such a big thing even people that have been on my teams or have known me for years and have worked with me, even at the last class, the last quarter, I was like, hey, so can I get in your database? And they're like, no, Rachel, you cannot come in. Okay, I'm like really picky about it, okay? Because your database is your asset. So I'm gonna put that out there. Command has a lot of videos, and that's not the kind of training we want to offer you guys, but it is something to bridge you through until we can get some very in-depth training, okay? Websites have also been another big thing. Our website has our IDX feed into it. In addition to that, it's directly linked to our our CRM piece, okay? Which means anything that you drive into your face or your website is going to filter naturally into our CRM, right? You just saved so much time, okay? But understanding a website, how to build it and do those things have been challenging. So I do have the regional tech director coming in on May 21st, okay, to go through website 101. On June 4th, we have him coming back and he's going to go through website 202, which is advanced stuff and the landing pages. Okay, that way we can build out custom landing pages for our listings or an event that we're doing or something we're passionate about, right? We can customize our website and not feel that we're missing the bucket and that we're just going to let it stay in the background. Questions? Okay. This is where I want you guys to start taking notes. Because Nicole and Angel, right? You know, if you guys do not have a niche that you guys are working on, or there's not something that you're pulling, let's get together, okay? Because farming is a great way to start, just because that one list gives us everything that we can do in marketing and prospecting. But everybody else, like, if you, Nicole, Angel, if you have yours, let me know. But y'all know what you're targeting, right? Bryce, you know what you're targeting. I mean, Callum, agents, you, me, I get you. You know, Kyle, you've got your niche too, right? Like, so when we have our niches, we kind of know what our message of the moment is probably gearing towards or what that clientele is needing. So when you guys look at this and we go through it, I want you to think of, okay, well, if she said that, then what could that apply to what I'm doing? Is there something I can do? Because we will talk about the specifics within this, where I'm getting very general. You'll want to take notes and put your ideas down. Okay, anyone who sends me their notes, even a picture of them, will get 5 tickets towards our raffles. Okay, I want to see that you guys are making a plan. If you're not making a plan, man, let's just sit down. I am always eager to jump into your guys' business. Okay, so again, prospecting, low hanging fruit, and more of a it's an action-based thing, right? So calling's action-based. As much as texting and social and email drip campaigns and mailers and all the different forms of communication work, people, picking up the phone and having the conversation and meeting someone in person still matters. Okay, we still have to connect and do those things. Okay, texting. Disclaimer, so I don't get in trouble. Please follow any texting and do not call registry rules. Like, you can go all over KW and I'll give you all the sites to go to plug in your database and stuff like that. Okay, off my high horse. So texting goes a long ways. I will tell you now, we will jump into a little bit. When you text, don't use formal language. Okay, you can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want 10 text for for cancels and expireds. Just like 10 tags, put emojis in there and make it informal. Now, when you do that, you'd be surprised what you get, but like literally, I'm not saying send a text that says, yo, you still looking to sell your house? Okay, but the informal language, like, yeah, like WYA, right? Or the acronyms that all of our kiddos have decided are only language, okay? I mean, I thought we loved to put everything into an acronym, man. So like those types of things, missing punctuation, what that does, and I'm just telling you this now because we're talking about it, we'll go into it. There's spam filtrations within the carriers on our text messages, right? So what we're doing is not triggering those. The spam is meant to, you know, look at formal language, Are they using first name first? Is it the same repetitive thing? I'm not going to tell you all the tricks right now because you got to come to that class later in this course. But Bryce, you know what I'm talking about. I think you were at that class. But like, there's some really cool things. We just want to make sure we don't want to be like too slangy, but we don't want to be too formal, right? You got to meet the middle. So, and don't repeat the same message more than 5 to 6 times. Change it up a smidge. FYI.
Yeah,
We'll
like,
go more into that later.
Use batch IO, but that has a whole file, and they want you to have 10 discrete.
Yeah, and the reason why is because they're gonna take that batch leads does the same thing, they text. The platform that y'all get our text on, when we remind you that we have classes and stuff. Okay, it takes it and it groups it by like these little components and it drops those in little batches. Therefore, they're not triggering the spamming, because the spam on when you repetitively send something, it's not that you're sending it, it's the response rate back. That's the first piece of that filtration. And then if you don't respond back, like they say stop, they say F you, give you whatever. I'm just using that because if we're talking about cancels and expires, sometimes they can do that. You just gotta bear it and grin it. But anyways, you just like, what I mean? Like it's triggering that. So yeah, we'll go into that later. But okay, so texting, don't disregard it. Just make sure that you're using it appropriately. Third-party database sources, again, Zillow, realtor.com, homes.com, which will be at our meeting, by the way, on Thursday. And just things like that, right? Like any of those third-party sites in which you can pay for them to source or to provide that lead. That's what it's referring to. And remember, I'm giving you the definition for them because we're not then going to have to get into all the specifics. Key relationships, right? Vendors, support, like, just those people in your circle in which are within your industry, right? Those key relationships to your business. Networking. Can't tell you how many times someone tells me, oh yeah, I was at an event and I picked up a buyer from a whole nother state, right? Because it's like KW has like the best referral program out there. And it's already built into our CRM. Anyways, so like utilize that, right? Go to, I know that some people get onto councils or, if you guys are doing your interested, like your interest, like I'm hiking and doing, that's all networking, right? Just don't have to solicit and be like, I'm a real estate agent, you should use me, but just, they should know. Be passionate about your job. Be passionate about what you're in. Okay. Keller Williams Reach. Why do I say that? I showed you guys a little hack to when we say we're international. Angel and Nicole, did you miss that class where I showed us how you could show a client that you were international?
I know I did.
Okay, cool. Then someone remind me at the end of the class, I will show you. So we are known to be international, not known. We're international. So when you tell your clients like, yeah, we're international, and they're like, well, how? Okay. I'm going to show you how you show them. Okay. So just one of you twos, because I got moms up here. So I know I'm gonna, in women who'd like ownership. So you tell me. Okay. We have, oh, I went too far. I'll just keep it there. Okay. Charity and volunteer work, right? Great way. Great. You're giving back. Like that's a great space to be in with people to be able to prospect for potential stuff. Paid ads, different than marketing because we're actually putting money behind it. The reach tends to be a little bit different. We're actually doing an activity to get them, not just posting. Canvassing, door knocking, pop buys, business to business. Okay. Booths and kiosks, also really great. Farmers markets and, different bridal shows, all kinds of stuff like that. And community outreach. Okay. Nothing is better when you can be in center with people that are in alignment with your love and passion. Okay. And so that's such a huge trust. So, I think it takes an awesome person to be able to do those things, and people that aren't awesome don't freely give their time. So, that is a great way because you're going to be a great agent, right? And you're kind and compassionate. We're Keller Williams agents, right? We're all about that. So it's just a great way to be able to do so. Okay. I'm gonna put marketing up first. I didn't realize I put my little trigger things. Okay, so marketing. What do we have? Video messages, right? Sometimes those don't go through. They sometimes feel like a little spammy, so I put them over here and not over prospecting. They're still viable. There's just other things that you need to do with it, and that's usually attaching it to a YouTube or something like that. Okay. Offline marketing. Okay, this is old school marketing. Radio, billboards, benches, bus sides. Hey, I feel like every class I say hey to you, I'm gonna go back through and like log it. Love you too, James. Okay, so right, like all the old school stuff that we used to do to have it be bright. It's not that those things aren't done. We just don't see a lot of us normal everyday Joe agents doing things like that. In fact, I don't even know a lot of top producers that are doing it. It's usually big conglomerate companies. So if you got it in for something like that, take it. Okay. Social post, right? It's marketing all day long. They need to be interactive and they need to have a call to action, right? Call me, learn more, your CTAs, but it's still marketing. QR codes that link to websites or other things, marketing. Blogs, newsletters, social lives, like I went live. Okay. Seminars, email campaigns, promotion, press releases, sponsorships, or, interest and hobbies and events. Okay. All marketing. Now events, now we have this middle column, right? So it says both because there's a lot of this that can translate between, lines. So that would be geographic farming, demographic farming, client events, community events, open houses, broker opens, SOI, affiliated resources, referral network, advertising platforms, seminars, and contests. Okay. It's not the full list. I'm sure we could add. So if you guys find one that I'm missing, let me add it to the list. I like when we have Santa's naughty and nice list. Be just long, right? But here's some general ones, right? Like if you guys know and have sat down with me with any of the marketing stuff, right? We talked about mailers. That's a lot of different things. That's just sold, just listed. Hey, I'm your neighborhood expert. Here's an event. You know what I mean? This, and this, right? So there's a lot of sub pieces to this piece. All right. Any other notes that want to be taken, or can I move forward? All right, I'll move forward. Okay, so now we understand what we can do with it. We're going to go back into the MREA. Okay, and I just want to, we always see the funnel, and you guys can't see, this looks a little bit more blurry than it did on my thing, but I'll just go through. Okay, so the deep red circle is our allied resources. Okay. Our mom, chances are we got a good one, or dad, right? They're SOI, but really they're allied resources, right? Those people that are going to we're always going to be in their corner, right? We want everybody to be mom and dad status. Do you have a best friend, right? Do you have a vendor partner that you guys work really closely together, right? Do you have a client that loves you so much they refer business back to you, right? The whole point of this is to be pushing people towards us. We're not talking about your inner circle with your personal life. We are talking about just that. So that deep red one, middle one is your allied resources. We want to push everyone in. Okay. So second one is your met, and we're going to go through that. Met and haven't met. Okay. So the reds are your mets and the white and gray are your haven't met. We have to divide our database into two things. If we've met somebody, do you think the conversation when we've met them is a lot different than the conversation than if we haven't? Right? Because we're going to know something about them personally, where they're trying to go, whatever. We can gear that message at the moment to be a little bit more targeted towards what their need or their desires are. Okay, when we have not met them, again, and I don't want, like, we're throwing spaghetti at a wall if we're not doing it the right way, right? We don't know. There's nothing to base it off of. At that point, it's another email. It's another email. It's another call. It's another call, right? And most agents will dump into, when we talk about calling, texting, email, social platform, uploading audiences to social target our lists, or, down to doing events or doing this. I really just want to kind of pick like one or two, but if we really looked at a lead source and said, I'm going to do like these main pieces, social, you need to have one social piece, one email type of something that's hitting them, some type of mailer that's going through, some call, you know what I mean? And so on and so forth, some event that I can bring them to and connect with them. Why? Because I'm going to tell you, like, if you got like 30 of us together, chances are, and we're real estate agents, right? None of us are going to communicate or look at things and marketing or things the same way. Okay. Therefore, you shouldn't treat any of your targeted audience that way either. Okay. Questions? Because we're going to go through more of the. Okay. So the MET group that we have met but are not part of our allied resources. Once we meet them, and this sounds pretty harsh, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to take a tough, like you just need to put your head down and do it. 8 touches in 8 days. That's MREA. So, and I'll tell you a really good story. That's why we have to use it very carefully. Because then after that, if we still have not moved them into our transactional pipeline, I'll send you the slides, girl. I know, it's like blurry, or like, yeah, we want to hit them 33 times. Okay. So, when you do that, right, essentially I broke it down, it's like 3 times a month. So they didn't answer and you've been calling them for 6 months, you want to continue calling? No, we've got to have other platforms of communication. Okay. Because chances are maybe that call is not the way that they're communicating. Okay. So the targeted group, again, what does your targeted group look like? Are you hitting cancels expired? Do you really need to go into your database and your SOI? You know what I mean? Do you want to jump into farming and I'm farming this neighborhood and taking my market share here? That's your targeted group. Most of the time you haven't met them. Okay. It says per the, and I'm going to change this, don't worry. 12 touches. It's 24. You need to have a text call or something like that once a month just to check in and see if like you are getting a response, and they need to have some other form of communication. Okay. And then when you really go out, because chances are if you have a targeted group, you've got names, numbers, you know what I mean? You've got something. Once we get past that, it's the general public. You haven't met them either. That's now prospecting marketing. Okay. It all requires it all, but this is how the MRE has it broken down. So when we look at that piece, okay, cancels and expireds. Now, let's say we're working through a list. Okay, and we were able to get them on the phone, identify some things. They're not telling us to go shove sand because I got 80 other calls that day. Or we've met with them. Okay, we want to hit them 8 times in 8 days. And you're like, oh, right, but I did that with so many leads, it's going to stack up. Okay. Calls always need to be our prime. If you ever have like another touch more than a call, you're doing it wrong. But what I'm saying is 8 touches is like, we all get annoyed when a phone rings over and over and over again, right? Like I get it. I mean, that's the point to try to get them to answer it, but there's some other ways to get them to answer that you're not just spam calling them. So let's think about some other ways that a cancel expired in 8 days. In 8 days, you probably get a mailer out to them somehow or a golden letter, right? You know what I mean? So you could still do a mailer. You could still put them into like a targeted audience in your social and hit them that way. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do other ways that maybe aren't just all doing the calls. Okay. So then I jumped it up to not 33, but 36. Why? I like even numbers. Okay. So it really breaks down to 3 touches a month. Okay. Call, an email drop of something, a mailer and or invite to something, right? If we're good, we got their anniversary, their address and stuff like that. So, okay, a comp, put them into HomeBot or some type of, or like with us, we have a smart plan that has a neighborhood search built in for our sellers, right? That's a touch. It's interactive. It's awesome. You know what I mean? Send them a text, a personalized text. You met them, you know what I mean, once a month. Hey, just checking in. You know, it's March, it's definitely AC season. Did you, just wondering if you needed a vendor for this, right? How easy is that? That's so contributive. Have the vendor, by the way. But it, you know what I mean? So just, it could look like a whole bunch of things. Now, if you don't meet them, it says that it wants, just 12 touches. No, I think if you've not met them and you're lead generating the source, hit them 4 times in a day. Or I mean, four times in 4 days, okay? Not enough time for a mailer. Okay, I mean, we're in the city fast, but like, honestly, that's not enough time for snail mail. Okay, so let's come up with some other creative things. Hitting them with social, you know what I mean? We're putting them on, we're showing them something of value that they had, maybe their area needs, the neighborhood in which it's sitting, the city or something like that. Maybe there's a great seminar that we're putting on that would be super beneficial to understanding the market that's relevant for them, okay, during the time or whatever. And that's the kind of stuff. A cancel and expired, I'd always keep them on a monthly drip of some sort. Probably property specific, to be honest with you. Which is where we're going to start to go into this. Okay, so we want to prospect. This one's all call, text, canvas, and events. Okay, marketing, and we're gonna go through some examples. So be ready to participate, everyone. Geosocial targeting, paid ads, mailers, cards, video message, seminars, email campaigns, newsletters. Okay, it's not the whole list, but okay. All right. If we call a canceled or expired, what should we say? Like, what kind of call does that feel like?
You ask if they're the owner of this property, if it's still for sale.
Yep, you need to identify.
Yeah, identify and ask if it's still for sale, or I saw there's, you don't say, oh, you're expired, what happened? You ask them and they're gonna say yes or no.
Mhm.
And then from there, you're going to ask what their plans are, what the next steps are. And
Yeah, I mean, each one's different, but I'll be honest, like a cancel expired, that call is very much like, is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Mhm.
Awesome. Hey, Jeff, I noticed that your listing, is no longer on the market. I was just inquiring if you were still accepting offers, or kind of tell me a little bit of the story. Like, just looking at it, it's a beautiful property, sitting in, Sunridge over there. It's,
Mhm.
I'm so curious about like what happened. Why didn't you guys not sell? Okay. Not solving their problem right now and listening to their frustrations is you need to be a therapist with this one. That call, you need to be digging in and open-minded, and you're going to have to be a therapist. Okay. If you text, what way do you think you would text them? We don't want to text them a paragraph. Please never text someone a paragraph. No one likes that. Easiest. Hey, is this such and such? Hey, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Hey, is your property on Main Street still available? Hey, are you accepting any offers or entertaining any offers on 123 Main Street? Super short. Now, there are some people that like to have conversations over text, and that's fine, but I'm always going to encourage you that speed to lead is important.
Mhm.
So then, therefore, by the way, you can look at this as top producers for agents. I'll go ahead and break that down for you, Callum. Okay, so it's short and sweet, right? I'm asking a very pointed question. There's no fluff, there's no nothing. I'm not telling them who I am. Yeah, I'm not soliciting them about their listing. I'm not even saying, hey, can I take the listing? That is the last thing they want to hear at that point. We have not listened to their problems. Their problems have not been addressed. So you're going to be a therapist. Awesome. Canvas, my favorite. Why? I'm at Canvas, like I'm gonna go door knock. No, you're gonna go pop by. Okay, because no one likes to door knock. There's like, I want to meet the freak who loves to door knock. Show me the freak and I will bow. No one likes to do it. It's entirely way too hot here some months. Okay, it's no one likes rejection in general. And I think we're all have become so private because we live in a big city
Mm.
that it's not customary to have our doors knocked on. Okay, so it feels very intrusive too. Okay, I think there's a lot of psychological pieces that play into that. Nonetheless, one of the most impactful things is obviously showing up to their door with value, right? So let's say that I'm farming my neighborhood and I have Kelly pull my expireds and cancels and FSBOs, which she can do. You can also find them yourselves and find the addresses, and you don't have, and you can skip trace them easily if you need the phone number, but you can have everything else. It's your neighborhood. You can knock on the door, okay? But if you knew, like, you just came to the door with something, like you can literally walk into our office and grab light bulbs and programs to save them 60% on their frickin' electricity bill, and they're free for you. We don't get a payback. We don't get anything back from APS. You can come get those anytime you want, right? Walk up with some value. Hey, I noticed that. You know, I would love to be able to talk to you how we can help, right? Have you thought about this? Have your listing presentation available, right? We just went through that last week. And, you know, again, I'm still morphing mine and stuff, but I've probably sent it out at least 10 times since that class, right? Just fill it, you know, come from a place of value. My favorite thing, when you take a listing or you're doing an open house and you're doing it the right way, and we will talk about open houses and stuff like that, you pull that list of cancels and expires and FSBOs, okay? Hey, I have this listing in your neighborhood. You know, we're doing all this extensive marketing and we've already had great feedback. And I know that you know, the first run didn't work. I'd love to be able to talk to you about how maybe you can piggyback off of it and still take advantage of the market where it's sitting, right? Do you have just a couple minutes? We can chat, no obligation. You know, would love to be able to help you. Okay. So that feels a lot different. And hey, I brought you this. These are some things that we, you know, we put them up in our listings and we give them out to the neighbors. And here's some, save 60% on your APS bill. No, I'm just, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not empty. Okay. So Canvas and events, great way to draw them in, right? If we know that cancels, expireds, and FSBOs are frustrated with the market, why don't we put a seminar on with a lender and, you know, title and a broker and, you know, our top producing agents or you yourself? It doesn't matter, like top producing, middle, you know, just coming out of school, I don't care. Like, we'll have the support you guys would need for it. Why don't we do a seminar that shows them how we look at the market and why it moves the way it does? We're literally supposed to speak and train and understand that, right? Why would we not impart that knowledge upon our sellers, right? Because it is our job to educate and protect our clients, public, and our fellow, you know, industry professionals, okay? So events are a great way. If you live in, or you're farming in a neighborhood, for instance, you know, or you're working with cancels and expireds that are more family oriented, like the demographic, and there's a lot of like family, you know, kiddo families. Okay. We have 4 quarterly events that you can plug and play in each one. Okay. Can't have what happened last one happen, and that's no participation because it affected it, but just FYI, you guys were here for me for about the next one. But anyways, so that's a great thing. It's free. It's a lot of community outreach that we're giving back or doing something directly with the shelter. Well, it was shelter last time they adopted a puppy. I'm so excited to hear about that. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, right? Like, cool. That's great. Value right there. Hey, send them a personalized invitation. You know what I mean? Okay, marketing. Geo social targeting. I will show you how to do that when we get into Facebook, the meta with the social thing. I'm going to actually show you how to handle the audience pieces in the social targeting piece so that you guys can use that. Paid ads, we've all done it. Command allows us to do it cheaper, faster, larger reach, all the things. Mailers, perfect. Okay, golden letter, ChatGPT. Put your value prop in there, tell it to write a golden letter, man. It just spits out this thing. Do proofread, please, because it does mess up. Video messaging, like I said, the seminars, email campaigning, and newsletters. Okay. When you go over to the not Mets, it's no different. What's different is the message that you're offering them. Okay. And we just want to be problem solving and letting them know they need to be educated on the market. It's probably the two big things with our council experts. Okay, questions? Okay, then we are moving. Okay. FSBOs, very similar, but yet a little bit different. Okay. So if we met them 8x8, 100%. Now, why? Because FSBOs typically, from the time they list their property, get tired about 3 to 5 weeks. Weeks, not months, weeks. Okay. And I am not talking about our seasoned FSBOs. Okay. I'm not talking about the people, I was an agent and I'm selling it myself, or I've been selling FSBOs like my whole life. Okay. We're not talking about those. I'm talking about the mass. Okay. So what was their issue, right? They have an immediate need. They think they know that it all, and they want to save money. Cool. And they don't want you to take the listing. Awesome. I heard you. So I want you to keep that in mind. So 8x8, right? You should be, hey, any progress today? You know what I mean? Send them an email, with maybe some recent sales. You do that a couple times in that 8x8. That's probably really good. They need to understand what their neighborhood's actually really doing, and be specific, right? Like, here's homes specific to you, and here's what the general neighborhood is doing in all, whatever. That's super easy. Okay. And then after that, like 8 days, they still need to be nurtured pretty hard and kept up on, because we have 3 to 5 weeks, right? And we only took up a week in one day. So I would say touch them twice a week until that time period ends. And again, depending on how long they've been on the market, will depend on how that one could feel. Okay. And then after that, 36 touch. You're just gonna 3 times a year or a month, you're gonna touch them with something. Okay. Email campaigns are great. I do believe in, calling. I know I'm gonna say that a lot. And utilize text and some of your social platforms and event, invitations and stuff like that too. Not meant 8x8 and then 12 touch. Okay. Because if you've met them, you've built a relationship with them, I would like you to have some more communication. If you have not, then just let it be what it is until they tell you to not. When they say not, just take them out of the database. No one needs to have a monkey database. Okay. Again, very similar. So call, text, canvas, event, and host an open house. Okay. Offer to help them. And even if you're not doing that, hey, oh, you're going to have an open house on Sunday. Let me bring some signs out and put them out. And I'll bring a thing of water for you. And be here to, answer any, the questions that, even if they don't want you to host it, just let me help you. I'll drop a couple things off. Let me help you. Okay. Because you know what everybody's not saying to them? No one's saying, hey, oh, cool. You want to sell it yourself? Here's an easy way to do it. We have there's a FSBO guide, I think, in my KW, in my designs. I also have a FSBO one, like a FSBO guide. Share some of the trips. I am not winning my words today. Have some tips and tricks to the way that we do things. You don't have to give it away, but telling them here's one sheeter, talk to your neighbors. You never know who might, who's trying to move into the neighborhood, right? They can ask their neighbors, hey, who do you want to live here? We can't do that. Okay. We can't solicit around that, but they can. They're not held to those rules, but or creating engaging marketing and posting it online and sharing it with your friends and asking them to share. That matters, right? There's just some things you can share with them without giving it away. All the trade secrets away per se, because we want to nicely dangle the carrot, but still give them some nibbles. They're hungry. Okay. Email campaigns, events, seminars, video message, mailers, handwritten cards, all that stuff. Okay. Same thing for not mets. It's the same thing. It's just the duration or the how many times we do it. Okay. Would it be beneficial if I sent these slides out? Yes. Okay. Cool. Did you have something, Angel?
No, I was just gonna say yes, but you said yes.
Awesome. Got it. I will send them out then. Because I do realize I guess I have a lot of information and you know, but some of it's repetitive. Okay. So farming, again, people, I told you this is my favorite. Okay. Not met them, 8x8. Then after that, 36 touch, 3 times a month. And that should be super easy because you should be in the neighborhood doing stuff. Events, listings, you know what I mean? Intentionally door knocking the expireds, see where this can overlap. Not meant 24 touches. Why? Because you're farming the neighborhood. It's all about being relevant and staying consistent, extra consistent. Okay, we want all subliminal messaging going up, from a sign going up, an email, an event with your branding, social posts with the events or what you're doing or whatever it is. Okay. Oh, I got a new listing, you know, mailers, all the things. Okay. It's just all needs to be subliminal. All right. So now, again, we'll see still a lot of the same stuff with some additives again. Call, text, canvas, event, open house, because you should be doing open houses in your farming area. If you do not have them, and another agent has them and they're with our brokerage, preferably, because I do believe we do not allow that to be outside the brokerage, like find a way, right? Like jump in there. Volunteer and charity work, right? We're talking about farm. Okay, there's a lot of things to do. I mean, they have garage sales, help host that. You know what I mean? Most communities, especially our HOAs and stuff, like they have Easter egg hunts and trunk or treats and things like that. Just don't do it on our events so that you can participate. Thank you. So marketing, geo-target, right? We have a whole list. We can put it to our Facebook and create an audience, or Meta, because that's Instagram too. Paid ads, mailers, cards, video message, seminars, pop-bys, might have put that one. Definitely the events, email campaigns, newsletter. I mean, the list goes on, because if you go back to that first list where it's like the 3, prospecting, marketing, and it can look anyway. Okay. Same thing with not Mets. But they're probably going to benefit a little bit more because they haven't been exposed to some offline marketing. You know, same thing with the Mets too. Like, and that could be business, like putting your flyer up in a business or something like that too. It doesn't have to be a bench or necessarily something like that. Okay. I feel like I'm getting through this a little faster than I anticipated. Does anyone need a break? Cool. All right, then girls, we're gonna break for a hot minute. I will say
Can we talk when you-
5:10?
Yeah.
5:10, David. What do you need? 5 or 10?
I'll be done.
I'll give you 10.
Over that.
I'll give you 10. We don't know. Okay, display. And we'll be back in 10. It says 30, 10.
Would you bless us as a circuit?
You think it's asking to bless it?
Yeah, yeah. Sprinkle it or something. Cause I do have 2, you know, I have 2 legitimate lots. This is not, you know, this. I have everything built.
Yeah, the silence wasn't that dynamic silence. You need to just be quiet. What I would like to know is what your feedback is, like we did last time, and just tweak it, you know? Cause like, what's the demographic in the neighborhood that you're calling, you know what I mean? All that could shift, you know? So when you look at your demographics in your neighborhood, like, where are they sitting? It could shift some of it and the way that it's presented. So let's just give it a week.
Okay.
Are you gonna do it, like, how many days?
I'm probably gonna do it every day. This is carpet bombing, Chamber, Gilbert, Tempe. I've got this,
Then I would put some more specific language to those areas
yeah.
when you're saying that, like, have you thought about investing in, you know, low interest rates and, you know, Gilbert is still, you know, values are X amount above. You need to become a neighborhood expert. There.
Yeah, and we're getting a little bit closer to that just because, My wife lived in Florida for 22 years,
Okay,
and well, she's a real estate person.
Yeah.
She knows pockets of it, she knows who to do. So that's.
Perfect, yeah. Yeah, give it 5 days and then let's reconvene next week
Okay.
and tell me what your response is. So
Yeah.
just track do me a favor and just track your dials, your answers, your yeses and your nos.
Mhm.
And your yeses could be like nurtures. I don't, that,
And,
that.
and
I'll
now
accept
if
that.
I get a, whatever, you know, I get a person on the phone and they're starting to listen to me and I have their phone number and they take me a call, that means I can be like, because I've actually.
You've had the conversation.
Mhm.
And I would follow up with that at the end of that script, or maybe you want to write that is, hey, thank you so much for taking the time because the market's shifting, has just been shifting so rapidly. Would you mind if I just kept in touch with you? With kind of what your neighborhood market is doing?
Mhm.
Be specific with what Stone Ridge is doing, with what, whatever the subdivision is that you're typing in.
Mhm.
Okay, be like draw, you know what I mean? Because then they're like, oh,
Mhm.
you're not using general terms. You're
Yeah, it's, Grandma Joy, she's potential crash out. That's just that she owns her. She owns the Las Vegas house, which she's got. She can net, like,
That's not bad.
and then she's got some other nice too.
Yeah.
With her. So,
Yeah,
So that's good. My trainer, he's been.
really?
Yeah, it was.
Is that what you're gonna talk to David about?
What happened?
He got buyer for.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I know, it's almost like you come in and you get business here.
Well,
Well, I haven't seen you in so long.
You know,
My daughter had, yeah, she had tonsil surgery. So
yeah, it's on the cast,
So that's what I
yeah,
got.
a long time before. But he's that trainer guy. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna text him, get out with information, if you got a card. And then, just, I'm gonna say, what was your position?
Senior loan originator.
Yeah. Okay. Good then.
Oh, I was a fitness manager and then area manager for.
And your value proposition, obviously, there's a function and stuff like that, but is there any sort of anything like the world related, whatever related to?
Um. Just, it's an avenue where they teach you the finance part of that, especially being a trainer, and owning the home is building wealth, right? And you need to have that stability.
Yeah.
Give that.
Very impressive. And your card is in.
Oh, yeah, I was in Texas.
Yeah.
So I think that might be easier than Phoenix.
Yes. That's it.
I was gonna say my contact card, but it doesn't have to see one.
Yeah. So, Mhm. I like, I get it very well.
No, I think that'll be good. And another, maybe talking point with him is, I know how trainers typically get paid. I know it could be all over the place, so and I already know what to expect and how it works. Get him the best, best program and everything. Start getting as much of that income qualified as possible.
Yeah, because he hasn't been out here that long.
Yeah, and it's gonna be all over the place. Unfortunately, just because that's how the trainers work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be good, man. I feel bad I haven't been in here in a while. 5-year-old consult surgery.
Oh my god, that's big. I mean,
Yeah, she's out for a week and a half in school,
how old is she?
5.
Oh, no.
But it's been,
Oh,
yeah, it's been a,
that's so hard.
yeah,
I've heard somebody, I mean, there's some serious things that older people find it can kill.
I mean, that is, yeah, when you don't do it while you're young, it can be real,
Yeah.
but brilliant
Mhm.
stuff. Thanks again, and if
Sure.
if you guys want to,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just gonna tell them to give you a call.
yeah, that works. Also, what I found is that if you group text, maybe you just add him in a group text, that might work good too, because it has that. The trust of having you in there,
Mhm.
like a stranger,
Mhm.
but either way, if he. Yeah, if he just wants to call me,
Mhm.
that's my cell on me. What's his name?
John Leck, JON, like, is it Jonathan Leck? He's at LA Fitness, again,
John Lecca,
ZCH. Yeah, he's,
and he is a personal trainer.
yeah, I think he's like the head trainer.
Head trainer, okay, that was actually that position too before I put his name in.
Mhm.
All right, girls, boys, we're back. All right. So before we go into this, I feel like I'm not getting any participation, people. Okay, Bryce. Who are you targeting?
Well, one of the targets is senior is, want to be a senior real estate specialist, not so much them, but their families, because in that transition piece.
Uh-huh.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about door knocking, specific to Popeyes, because I know enough people in that demographic in my area to actually Popeye.
Okay.
So that
Okay,
I have a directory that.
so I hear that you have your list. So you have your list, which you can do everything with. Okay, so you've chosen to work off of a CP list and you're farming
Mhm,
a demographic,
mhm.
okay, which is. So you're,
Yeah, it would be like almost a demographic farm.
it's a demographic farm because you're targeting
Mhm,
seniors that are transitioning out of their homes into different level care facilities so that you're demographically hitting. Okay, so you said,
Interestingly enough, it just isn't limited to that. It's limited to people that are downsizing.
yeah. Okay, agreed. So we're demo farming and then we're gonna okay, so let's talk about prospecting. And let's talk about marketing. Okay. So I heard you say is that you're going to do Popeyes. Okay. Give me two others, at least 3 in each category. I like things in 3s, 6s, and 12s. Or nice.
Phone calls. I mean, I have enough of these people. Some of them are sphere of influence.
Okay,
I don't have a ton of sphere of influence, but.
are they tagged right? Do you have them in command?
Mhm,
They're
yeah,
tagged, you can just pull the list up.
yeah,
They have addresses, all of them?
yeah.
Cool. Chances are your demographic is not going to be tech like techie, so texting is probably not going to be one of your prospect
No,
things.
that they like voice to voice and
Mhm.
about, conversations about a lot of different things, so real wide ranging conversations before we get down to business.
Agreed, so then, can you think of a third?
This is real long range, but it's more like marketing because I was gonna start making videos talking about each certain topics. And there
Okay.
was gonna be a cadence to the videos, like week one, I
So-
was going to
I'm gonna,
discuss one thing.
yeah, I'm gonna
and-
call them transition videos,
Yeah, and ask them,
but where are you gonna put them? How are you gonna deliver these videos?
probably, Instagram, Facebook.
So then you're going to have to custom create
Mm-hmm.
that audience.
That I understand the cadence now, understand that I'm gonna solicit information for them. Have you ever, what's your opinion of this? And then here's what I know. Here's, what do you know? What do I know? Thanks for answering and,
I
then,
like that. I'm just gonna write that down though. What do you know? This is what I know.
yeah, is this of interest? Is this of interesting to anybody out there? What is of interest?
So then you're keeping it interactive.
Mhm,
You have a CTA, you
Mhm.
know, call to action, right?
mhm,
Okay, so marketing, okay, so then you're gonna do that through social.
mhm.
And then it'll have to be a paid ad because your target audience, just
Mhm.
so you know.
Yeah.
Paid ad, which almost brings that up
Mhm.
to be a third. So that could be a dual
Mhm.
one. But
Yeah, but with a paid ad, exactly. that.
but you still have to prospect for new ones as well. So how are you doing that?
This is real long run, but it is a presentation as a seminar, anything like that.
Okay, so you want to prospect through seminar.
Mhm.
And just because I like to spit ideas. I would also quasi make it like an assisted home
Uh-huh.
farmer's market.
It's,
So, you know, like get a grouping of them together that are at different levels and, you know what I mean, like create, like they have a sponsor, like then they can talk to, because this is their demographic, right? So you might be able to get that covered
mhm.
financially, or at least,
Yeah, and
You
this,
know.
this has been, down. I guess, I feel like a crusader too, because there are a lot of wholesalers out there. There's this.
oh my gosh.
There's this thing called Granny's House, and they come on real nice and sweet, but they're nothing. They're like pure wholesalers, down and dirty wholesalers.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I
Yeah.
know it's being recorded live on YouTube, so I have no problem taking the stance.
Yeah.
We have recently learned that if like, let's say a seller is paying 6% or like I'm sorry. We're getting on the buyer broke like 2.5, okay? Now, before this whole thing that happened, you know, a month ago, anyone was willing to take the 2.5, right? Correct, Bryce?
Yes.
Okay, so what we found is that people are using the buyer broker to get the other 0.5%. And that the demographic thus far is the demographic you are targeting. Which means, so we would normally take 2.5% on the listing, right? But because of buyer broker and we can ask more, they're taking the other 0.5%. They're taking out of the concessions,
Mm,
the money they need. Most of them are on what? Fixed incomes.
mhm,
So they're taking it from the buyer and they don't even need to.
mhm.
So they're letting commissions affect the sale of the home. Now, they're still closing, but you know what I mean?
And
So there is
that's-
a lot, I can see why you feel like a crusader.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been wanting to talk to you about that, just because I think that it needs to be something that is addressed.
Yeah, I
Because
appreciate.
it's very shark-like. We don't,
Mhm,
like, I'm sorry. If you have a little old cookie box grandma
mhm,
and grandpa, like, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, and someone did that to your grandparent, how would you feel?
And they're gonna need every nickel. They don't know what the hell.
Right?
Yeah,
Rude, not even rude. Like, I want to say what I want to say and I'm not gonna say it.
yeah,
Okay,
but those people don't have mothers.
right, okay, yes, they don't have mothers. I like it, that's right, Bryce. Okay, so knowing that, okay, so you've got transitional videos that you're gonna throw onto social. Okay, cool, that's marketing. What about mailers and regular posts and email campaigns and
Mhm.
like, should they be maybe up on some type of home evaluation?
Or there's a lot of how-tos, information to post, like how do you declutter your house?
Okay,
Or who are that brochure I have has a list of affiliates, people that you should know. Like,
I'm already assigning you metrics, by the way, just so you know. You know what it's like to
yeah.
do this with me. So I would say one weekly post
Mhm,
on, we'll call it prep,
mhm,
okay? Decluttering, staging, what's important, what's not important,
mhm.
deferred maintenance, you know what I mean? What help is out there, you know what I mean? What resources, moving companies, partner with a
Yeah,
moving
there are
company.
some people actually that are senior transition experts, not so much the real estate part of it, but all of they're staging for the homes themselves. 'Cause
Yeah.
the homes, these people are the product, they're the pipeline that go into the home.
Yeah,
And you've got the directors, assistant directors, ops people, and special
kind of like,
that do nothing but broker to push the people through the door. And so we're helping facilitate that,
Yeah.
liquidating the real estate.
yeah. So be that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Be the expert there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to, I think that they need to be on some kind of home evaluation at least.
Yeah. mhm,
Okay, so we'll say home eval each month,
mhm.
okay? That's
Mhm.
6, and depending how many times you do it. Seriously, depending how much time you do it, that 36
Well,
number goes away real quick. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're thinking, yeah, exactly, because you're on the phone, you don't get a lot of hit, then a couple hours in the afternoon, knocking on doors, if you can't get them on the phone.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I'm lucky to within a mile radius, got. And let's just say 600 households that might apply to.
then you got a list that's gonna go on for a long time. You got activity that's gonna, you know what though, Bryce? Then never ask me, what should I do? You know, I grew up with a military mom, like, so she used to tell us, don't tell me you're bored. Cause guess what we got to do? We got to clean like baseboards and stuff. This wasn't wasn't a go, no, it was like,
Oh, here's a toothbrush, here's.
yep, that's exactly it. So like, looks like you're gonna be busy a while. You don't need to ask me what you need to do.
Well, I have an ally, I have somebody who.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to, Nicole or Angel, do you guys have a targeted or something that you would like to target? Is it a farming list? Is it your database, SOI?
I haven't thought that far in advance.
Okay. You and me, let's sit down, let's jump into your business, girl. Deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole, how about you, girl? I know you're like getting babies right now, so if you can't answer, I'll come back to. Okay, then we're gonna like jump off. We're gonna talk about how a lender is gonna use this. Okay. Mr. Kellum. What is your lead source? I mean, and like, are you getting a list? I know it's agents, but are we getting at a list? Like, are you targeting a certain type of agent or a production? Like,
Yeah, buyers agents typically,
okay. So if you guys didn't hear it, he just said buyers agents, right? That's very specific. Seems obvious.
Yeah.
But, right, okay. And are you given a list of, or like, how do you get these buyers agents?
yeah, I guess
Or there's various ways.
various ways.
Okay, so we'll start with that. So we'll just say buyers agents. It's target.
Typically referrals from people on Facebook.
Okay, we'll
referrals
talk
from
about
friends.
that. Okay, so referrals, Facebook, so social referrals. You have partnering with market centers or offices. Okay, that's another one. And do you have any list or anything? that you are given? Like, you,
Yeah, contact list.
oh, from like the market center or
Yeah.
something like that? Okay, okay. Okay, so. So we're working off of social, we need to keep that in mind. With referrals. No. So social, I'm gonna say market center, roster. And I'll say activities. Cause I'm gonna participate in a lot of different. Activities from events to coming in, all the things, okay. So those are reversed, but you get it. So prospect, we're gonna come up with 3. Okay. And then- Okay. All right, so prospecting, how are you getting these on social?
Asking, maybe either making like a post, I haven't done it in a while, but make a post and just reach out and say, does anybody know of a really good realtor in Arizona?
Okay,
And then you get a warm lead.
yeah, so essentially. I'm gonna put a post here because. It's still engaging, but you're also reaching out intentionally too.
Like a testimonial type, post about it to see.
Okay, I'll put that here. And then up here, we're gonna put, post, ask for referral. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. We have MC rest of this, what do you have with that?
Make calls,
Your colleague,
introduce myself.
okay? Well, I know that prospecting has a lot of activity, so what are you doing in the activity?
For the activity, taking people out, coffees and stuff, I guess.
Okay, great.
Oh, that.
Okay. Marketing. You, well, I know you do because I've been getting them. So you've been you emailed your campaign.
Yep.
Did that just recently start?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, why
Because I
am I
didn't
forgetting
get
these?
the list for a while.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
So you're posting testimonials or consistent social.
Yeah.
Okay,
Market
or you will
updates.
be again,
Yeah, market updates as well.
okay.
Market updates.
And obviously your campaign's been value updates, both of this, and everything.
Yeah, so
You've
what
got
I-
a plug and play that you're just, okay, what else can you do to market?
I could do the offline marketing, so like billboard and stuff too.
Okay, are you gonna buy a billboard next week though?
No, but car sticker.
Okay, so, probably put branding attached.
Yeah.
Okay, attach your card, attach your bottle, you know what I mean, so on and so forth.
Have some ads running in VA regions, so 20 VA regions. I don't know what that is.
So, like,
veterans.
Yeah, so that, okay, so that's kind of both, right?
Yep.
So you have ads, for EA, so you're targeting. So you have a niche marketing here. Which is,
Say,
how about charity? Get, all of this needs to be almost duplicated for that right away. Whatever you're saying for the general agent population versus, you know what I mean?
to military, yeah. just
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah, just FYI. Okay, so you're running an ad, so it's marketing, but because you're paying for it. Like, moves it over in a profit. Okay,
Yeah.
so. There's your thing. Now you need to determine how much of this you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it, and it needs to go in your GPS or Flowman, or whatever planning thing you do. Okay, and Nicole and Angel, we will work on yours, so don't, like, we're all good. Okay, But to give you an example, we just did it with a lender, right? The same rules apply. You know what? I found that out. Recruiting and stuff. We've got some pretty intense goals and stuff happening right now, which is where the agent count is and stuff. And I had to look at my stuff and go, I was like so overwhelmed with like everything because my brain connects and I'm so used to doing all the things, right? It doesn't matter what lead source. So like, I was like, oh shoot, I need to treat my recruits like farming. I have to market them and I have to prospect them. Okay, so I just got done putting together essentially my recruiting farming plan, where I'm hitting every communication platform, from mailers to Popeyes. Yeah, how do you Popeye an agent? Not telling. Anyways, and email campaigns and invites to events, right, that are relevant to what they're doing, and constantly trying to come from a place of value and stuff like that, right? Making my calls, sending my texts, doing those things. I was just working on setting up my audience and my meta this morning. So it's just sitting there as a tab. If I pulled my thing up, I'd show you and just be like, here's meta, just working on it. You know what I mean? So like I'm working on how does that look, right? I have to be relevant, but my demographic is everyone. I have every race, gender, age group, production level, to all things, right? So I have to make sure that I'm communicating on all platforms because that's the language I need. Where we just talked about Bryce and we could eliminate a lot of these communications because his specific niche market is, our wisdom filled, elders. I mean, older folks. So, right. Like there's a lot of things that they're not going to do. Right. Anytime I sit down with one of the youngins, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but my oldest can be 21 in like 2 weeks. Like whenever they do something and they're like, what, it's in my email. And I was like, that's like blasphemy. That's like, here's a, turn the thing to dial for the phone. And they're like, what do you do with it? Right. It felt like that. And I was like, stop. Like, that's like a huge form of communication, but they don't do that. They text and they insta message and, you know what I mean? They platform respond and stuff like that. Right. So am I putting myself in a position, if that was the demographic I was hitting, that I would be speaking that message, again, message of the moment, right? That fits into the message. Okay, I think that was a good activity to see how it doesn't matter. And we can pick and pull and it could be it's our plan, right? Doesn't have to be someone else's plan. Okay. When you talk about Popeyes and stuff, you already have one, so I didn't go into it because the cute little back scratcher, take some of the APS things. They need to save their money too. Okay. All that area that you're hitting, is it the East Valley? No, it's the East Valley, huh?
Yes, that's north.
It's-
east.
Is it SRP?
Red Mountain. It's like a corridor, Red Mountain,
Yeah, but is
No,
it
I'm not-
APS or SRP?
SRP, so
Oh,
that's all.
I don't have a relationship with them. I'm sorry, so I can't help there. There's something else we can come up of value, right? But like, just have fun with it. When no one has mailers on here, but I'll just show you. Hold. So if you think it's impossible, like what is a recruit mail? Like recruiter mail, right? If I'm a team lead, I want to grow my market center, I want to grow my database, right? Not doing anything different than y'all. What do I want to do? Kelly does anything, right? Created like it's a bifold, it's square, right? Super interactive. All those images are AI created except for myself. Thank you. Okay, with a one-page insert, right? There's my listing presentation and my mailer and my follow-up all in one, right? Just get crafty with it.
Mhm.
What is your brain? What have you seen that you like, that you love, that you want to duplicate? And I say that because when I first came into the industry of working with teams and not individual agents, I'd always custom built everything to begin with. When I started running teams, there was this, don't spend the time building it, just rip and duplicate. Just rip and duplicate. And I'm like, how dare you? Like that's someone else's idea, right? I just, I'm gonna create it myself. And I did. I'm that stubborn a lot of times about certain things. But what I found is, let's say I put 10 agents that do more than 24 deals in a year by themselves. Okay, to put in perspective. They have the money to throw away if they wanted to. Okay, they're not broke. Okay, they're probably have ad spend and all this stuff in a lot of different places, right? So they're capable. They probably have admin to some degree, whether it's assistants, buying agents, showing agents or whatever it is. So when we look at that and we say, okay, they can do anything. And let's say Gary Keller sat down with them and gave them this amazing idea. Okay, that just moved the market in like a ton of other states or whatever. Okay. We're hypothetically people. Guess what? 7 of them might show extreme interest during that meeting with Gary. 5 of them will try to implement them. 3 of them, if you're lucky, will actually implement it. And those 3 will not mirror the other one, nor will they mirror the original one. We are human, we are individuals, we can make it whatever we want, we will always make it whatever we want, okay? So plug and play, if you got an idea, let's find out how to make it your idea. You know what I mean? Make it branded to you, so it's yours. I might know copyright what is like 10%, but I don't know that applies to like ideas in general when they're not sitting in there, but just that concept, right? Like there's a lot of ways to make it yours, okay? You're always gonna do it differently and that's okay. Okay. Let's go look through the last few and then I actually think, yeah.
Just probably personal, is it?
Yep.
Biting off too much to also have another form or do new houses? Or does that piece require that much time to do it right?
What do you mean new houses, like new builds?
New builds, yeah.
Half my deals have been at new builds my whole career, by the way. So like crazy verse.
But
It is one of the easiest
Mhm.
money you will ever earn.
Mhm.
And shame on you if you treat it like that.
Mhm.
Like there are phase completions.
Mhm.
You should be there after each one. There's multiple levels of inspections. You should be there at each one. Okay. When they're negotiating and they're going through, your job technically is to facilitate what the lender, okay, or their financing situation looks like in conjunction to purchasing the home. So if you're not there when they're writing the contract, if you're not there when they're in their, they're adding their, the design center, okay, your job is to keep them in track. Because if you did your job, you would have talked to the lender and said, hey, we really don't want them over this. This is about the most that they're going to be able to pay in this. If they want some additives, this is going to be the most that they're going to be able to do. It's our job to do what's best for them, okay? They've instructed, I can't be past this, or they can't be past this. We need to, so I know and it's a pain in the butt. Okay, but you shouldn't be lazy about it. Does that answer your question on that?
So it couldn't coexist with like senior real estate thing. 'Cause
I
it's-
don't see where there's a natural
They're not
cross contamination or pollination. I only see where you would have a one-off where they're downsizing and might want to have a new build and not have to deal with any of the stuff. But really your demographic is transitioning into some type of supportive something and downsizing that way. Okay, they're moving closer to family, you know what I mean? So you might have your one-offs.
I
I just don't think that it's
Yeah,
a
I gotta
direct
get
one.
off the fence because one thing I've heard about new builds or new men is that you can build a farm out of them in a year and a half because there's gonna be churn and whatnot. And
Oh, 1,000%, but recognize again with a niche, you have a niche.
Yeah.
You should be you should be geologically farming all the areas around your niche because your niches are all within the same kind of like city pattern or town pattern. I would master that before you start
Yeah,
mastering
that's
something
what
else.
I'm asking.
Yep.
I don't want to get.
No, you want to, if you're getting bored, chances are
You're not doing.
you got shit in your database that you can jump on that's low hanging fruit and you just don't know it because you need to stay relevant.
Because I already know. Yeah, okay.
So again, don't act like, hey, I'm bored. No. There's your base boards, my dear.
Maybe You know, the thing I have is circle calling for some buyers for townhouses.
Yeah, but that's a specific thing
Yeah.
because you're looking for a client. That's totally different. That is an activity for that client. That is not prospecting, marketing for additional stuff that way. If you end up being on the listing site, cool.
Mhm.
But, okay, database. And this is where my story is going to come in because Command does allow us to put tasks on. Okay. That's why some of this needs to be like automated too and just be touches that are done through other ways. So first off, Matt, so you see there's not much difference. I mean, 6 calls, a text, slash, a text in there and 2 emails or a mailer, whatever, within the 8x8 for your database. When you've met them, 36 touch after that. And there's tons of ways to do that. You can ask them questions. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be all like crazy formal and this like big thing, right? Not met 8x8, because chances are your database is probably leads coming in, whether it's like farming, social, posts, things like that. So you need to hit them right to get them on the phone so that you can identify what they need and they can go where you need. And then after that, a 12 touch, right? It's a nurture game after that. Okay. So when we look at that, it's database. If we have their, if we have their addresses and stuff, then yeah, could you pop by or do something like that? Yeah, but chances are call and text are going to be your prospecting pieces in here. Okay. You could take pieces of your database and upload it and do it, target them that way and then run a paid ad. You could do that as well. But a lot of our databases allow us to nurture this way. I would focus that money and time on something that's more targeted, not nurturing what's existing. You just need to make sure that nothing in that lead flow is behind. Okay. Same thing, right? So when we go to marketing, again, geo social targeting, mailers, video messaging, seminars, email campaigns, events, newsletters, website pushing, right? I love to push people to the website, especially if the website's tracking. Like with our recruiting, I'm gonna push everybody to Facebook because Facebook tracks everything. And I can have event forums and, events on there and stuff like that. Like, right. The whole thing is you need to push them somewhere where it's going to lead capture and be a hub for everything. Okay. So I would constantly make sure that whatever you're doing, you're pushing them back to your website just as a whole. Okay. Well, not last one, but second from last. So Matt's again, paid or post ads, same thing. I didn't even change it. Okay. We just want to make sure we hit them really hard so that they're not, oh, they didn't respond to me, so I'm going to go find something else in the meantime. After that, they're going to sit there and you just need to nurture them. Okay. So I'll send the slides out for you guys and stuff. But again, not much changing. Call text. Okay. Because those guys should go into your database, hypothetically. But they are their own unique lead source. You need me to pull back? Bryce, do you mean go back one?
Sure, that'd be good.
There you go. Okay. And then, oh, okay, they are. I was like, forgot. Now, family, friends, past clients and current clients. This is what we considered, a lot of times, not all the time with some of our past and current clients, but friends and family, we hope that they're all within our allied resource pool. Okay. That's the goal, is to keep them there. But really, you just need 12 one-on-one touches with them, something intimate. Okay. You guys know much about them. Invite them, holiday birthday cards, anniversary cards, special messages, on social, emails, text, whatever, property updates, ask for the referral, people. Popeyes. What stops you from every Christmas popping by with a cute little ornament? Actually, I've had 2 lenders do it, like New Year's and Christmas. Hey, check your front door. How do you get my address? And I've got like a bottle of wine. I don't drink wine, but it's still just super sweet, right? Like that they thought of that enough to have someone courier over or something. I'm not saying you need to spend a ton of money. You do it. It's your clientele. You know what I mean? Like a weekend or something like that. You know what I mean? It's always awkward when you catch someone. So don't. If no one answers, if they don't want to answer, they're not going to answer, leave it by the door. Or leave it by the door and text them, hey, send them a picture. I might be stalking you. Get crazy. Have fun with it. I mean, social targeting. Okay. We can do that. Those are our friends and family. Like, have them interact, have them share, do those things, invite them to seminars that are relevant. Client events, man, not just for our past and current clients, it's for our friends and family too. Okay. Because they will be our best referral service if we just stay relevant and are not just, give me the business, give me the business. Do you notice, like, not one time, except for once in there, is really ask for a referral. Hey, do you know anyone? You know, but other than that, you know, like, I'm a real estate agent. Do you need to buy and sell, mom? Do you need to buy and sell? Your mom's going to tell you. Okay. Just stay relevant other ways that are like, oh, they're doing this. Oh, this is fun. Oh, that'd be fun to be a part of. Right. I have all my friends come to our client events. All of them. So anything that's in there, right? Your past clients and your current clients, they know something about you guys. You know something about them. You transacted with them or are transacting with them. Okay. Don't dismiss that. Everyone wants to feel like a VIP. Hey, I don't normally invite friends and, you know, my clients, but you know, I'd love to be able to spend, you know, Easter, I know you've got the kiddos, you know, come bring them by and let them just like pick eggs and stuff like that. It was super fun. It's free for them. Like, you don't even have to talk to me. Just come have fun, you know? So I want you to get real intimate with your SOI, your past clients and your current clients this year, guys. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you, I've even had family and friends go, oh my gosh, you guys are never getting paid a buyer's commission again. What? It's not even close to what it is, but okay. You know what I mean? So like, they're just as confused as the rest of the public, and it's our responsibility to just stay relevant, right? But get real intimate, make sure that you have gone through. If you haven't done your D2, T2, I always get that mixed up. It's written down. There's a schedule. Every month you hit, like, what is it? Oh, you have it. Thank you. I had them printed out and then I gave them all away. So D2, DTD2. See, I told you I got it wrong. It's called an agent schedule, but what it is in January, you're gonna hit A and W. So list A, list W, right? You know, this date you're gonna hit B and D. Or that's January, it goes all the way to March. So it's in a quarter, they break A through Z out. That's how this one's done. Okay, but the point is, it chunks it down to a more manageable thing, right? How many people do you have with a name with W? Probably not a lot. Probably why they grouped it with A. There's probably a lot of A's. You know what I mean? But this is just a great little schedule to just go, hey, I need to revive my SOI. You know what I mean? Like, how do I do that? Would be the best way to chunk it down. We do it by first or last name letters. Okay. You just get through them. It feels easier. You're following something. It's measurable. And the activity is getting done. So, because those are the people that you guys need to stay relevant. Database first, and girls, this will be the first thing I ask you too. Always make sure we have our database in order. After that, I'm always going to instruct you guys to go to farming before you go to like some of these specialty stuff. Okay, just because it's the cheapest and one list gives us the ability to prospect and market on every front. Okay. All right. Wow. How did I get done in an hour and a half? Really? Okay. Well, that's it. That's a wrap, people. Angel and Nicole, you got any questions, loves?
No, I just want to know when do you want me to reach out to you so we can sit down?
Okay, two things. I'm gonna send the slides out, and then you know how I've got like that signature banner, that red one in my emails?
Okay.
Above it, it just says schedule some time here, and click here. It'll take you to my schedule and you can schedule whatever time's convenient for you. If I'm doing something, it'll time block it out.
Okay.
All right, then yeah, let's schedule some time. I'm excited to jump into your guys' stuff, and then let me know if you guys have any questions in the meantime, okay? Perfect.
What criteria do you